Hello everyone, welcome to AKS IAS main Shikshna free initiative. This is Santosh Koka. Today we will discuss one important question. Before that we will check small information. TGPSC, APPSC Group 1 and 2 English and Telugu medium new batch already started on 11th November. So it includes prelims cum mains integrated coaching offline live online classes. For more information call this number unknown. Main Shikshna today's question for 19th November 2024, that is subject related to history. Examine the contributions of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad to India's education system and his vision for a modern inclusive India. Here we are following regularly the three steps before writing answer. First step is related to question reading. Within 1 minute here we need to notice the important question tags and keywords here, right? So here what is the topic? Our Maulana Abul Kalam Azad is very important contributor to our India's education system, right? So here question tag is examine. Here we need to already assume that particular examiner knows something about this particular topic, right? We need to give some unique and different concepts, like for example you need to mention some facts, examples, right, etc., right? So other than that we need to notice here important keywords, right? Contributions is first important keyword, and then in the second part his vision for a modern and inclusive India is the second important keyword. In the conclusion part we need to give some next development events or present relevant particular features, right? We can add these type of issues in conclusion itself, right? So this is the perfect structure, right? Next important step is brainstorming. Within 1 minute here we need to focus on recalling important keywords, right? So what are the important keywords? We need to focus on providing some important current affairs related issues. For example, we are celebrating National Education Day on November 11th, that is his birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. That is very important. Other than that, we can include important institutions, what he established, especially, right, institutions, and also we can include some important vision, his vision examples as of now today, contemporary India, right? So other than that, important technical education related issues also we need to include here, right? So all our important keywords need to include, especially we need to mention as the part of history subject, we need to mention the timeline for everything, right? Time period is very important, right? So for example some policies also need to include here. For example, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, also these type of policies need to be included. And also his efforts influenced the three language formula also very important to include here. Especially we need to notice or include, highlight the NEP 2020, that is also very important, National Education Policy, right? So these are the important keywords. Let's start today's introduction, that is current affairs related introduction. So as of now we need to we can mention that November 11, we can highlight that November 11th is observed as National Education Day, right? That is very important here, National Education Day, to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, right? Very important. So next we can, in the background part, we can provide some important information related to our Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, right? His honors are his first education minister. He served as a first education minister, very important phenomenon, right? Important fact. So his contributions shaped India's modern education system also, right? So these type of important facts need to be included here. So other than that, in the body part, first of all we need to focus on providing key contributions, right? Major contributions of Abul Kalam Azad in the India's education system is very important. First of all, his foundation of key institutions. His foundation of key institutions is very important to notice here, right? So for example, he established a premier institutions like IITs, right? We have UGC to boost higher education. For example, we can include that IIT Kharagpur as an example here, right? 1951 itself, right? So it was the first IIT under his vision, right? So these type of examples need to include here, right? Next, focus on universal education, also very much important contribution of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad here, right? So he advocated personally free and compulsory primary education to combat illiteracy in India. So for example, his vision is reflected in the whatever we have Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, right? Abhiyan that was started in 2018. Very important. Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, recent example. Next, we can provide some other contributions as whatever we have promoting science and technology, also very important, right? He focused on technical education for self-reliance. For example, here we can include setting the AICTE to regulate our promote technical education, right? To regulate and promote technical education, that is also very important. Next, preserving language and culture, also very important, his contributions, right? Language and culture preservation, right? So here he encouraged the growth of Hindi, especially Hindi and Urdu languages, while establishing Sahitya Academy. We have, right, Sahitya Academy, and also Sangeet Natak Academy, also very much important here, need to include, right? For example, his efforts influenced three language formula, right? Three language formula is very much need to include as a important keyword here, right? So these type of keywords need to be attracted by the examiner, right? So next, fifth contribution is advocacy for women's education. Also he advocated for women's education also, that is very important phenomenon here, right? So he believed in empowering women through education only. For example, here we can include these some recent policies like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, like policies whatever we started in 2015 resonate with his ideals only, right? So very much important. So next, his vision, next important part, that is his vision for a modern inclusive India, right? Vision for modern and inclusive India need to include here, right? Very much important, inclusive, modern and inclusive India, right? So first important thing is national unity may be included here. National unity is very much important, right? So education as a tool to overcome caste and religious divisions. For example, here we can include our NEP, National Education Policy, inclusivity goals reflected in this particular policy, right? So next important thing we can include that is secular and pluralistic approach, also very much important vision, right? Secular and pluralistic approach, right? So here he advocated secular education to foster our harmony, right? So other than that, we can also include global at indigenous perspective, right? Indigenous perspective also was there in his vision, right, for modern India, right? So for example, he balanced modern education with cultural heritage, right? Modern and cultural heritage mixed, right? So that is the main advantage of this system or visionary for this modern inclusive India, right? So these are the important contributions and also his vision for a modern and inclusive India. So finally, in the conclusion part, we can tell that his vision continues to inspire India's education policies, like whatever we have NEP 2020, and supports global goals also, like SDG 4. We can include here SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 4, and quality education especially, right? Because his work is a reminder of how education can transform nations, right? So here finally in the conclusion part, we can connect our achievable goal, that is SDG 4, right? So very important. This is the perfect structure according to the demand of the question. Here the question itself is not related to contemporary, but we are taking just current affairs introduction only here related to our particular contemporary periods, right? November 11th as a National Education Day on his birth anniversary. Other than that, some important relevance means modern his vision for modern inclusive type of issues. We are including initiatives and policies, right? So that is the important note here. Next important question, that is day 128 question, main section of question for 20th November 2022. How does expansion of Himalayan glacial lakes increase the risk of glacial lake outburst floods, and what measures can mitigate this threat? That is related to our disaster management subject, very important for the upcoming examination, AP Group 1 and UPSC mains, right? So write your answers and upload in the AKS app. Thank you very much. All the very best.